Okay, recording this video. It is Wednesday, 29th of July 2015. Recording this about 3:40 a.m. Chicago time. The European markets are open at the moment, and the US market's going to open up in about 5 hours time. Hope your trading is going well. So you have not heard from me for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and that is because we have had some personal shit to take care of. We have been in and out of doctors' surgeries and hospitals for the last couple of weeks, and finally got some good news today, which is good. And I've got a little bit of kind of free time, so I thought I'd record a video. Just on an aside, from time to time in previous years, when people have emailed me said, oh, I lost everything because I had a computer crash and I forgot to back up and I don't have my passwords, I have said, you know, one day I will get hit by a bus, and if you haven't backed up or saved your passwords, you'll be up shit creek without a paddle. Well, I didn't get hit by a bus, but please back up. You know, I'm not going to be around forever, and there is some value in the indicators, and if you value the indicators, look after them, and passwords too. Anyway, so I'm going to talk to this email I got from Kevin today. Kevin said, can we get a video on the 28th of July 2015, which was Tuesday's trade, which is a monster day. He says, just a rocket to the upside, and was wondering if there was any indication of this or what you saw. Yeah, they almost rang a bell at the bottom, Kevin. And Kevin says, on another note, your indicators really have made the difference in your trading, I assume. So Kevin, if you've got the indicators, this one was like, you know, should have been ring-ding-a-ding. Anyway, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the higher time frame tip bar charts, starting with the 4,500, then 3 times that, 13,500, going up to the 40,500 tip bar chart. What I say is look for the end of trend signals to ripple through to time frames, starting here and then here and then here. And pull back to end of trend on the 4,500 tip bar chart happened on this left shoulder, pull back to dirty end of trend. The market still continued down. So let me show you the next time frame up. That little left shoulder was actually here on this chart, continue down on the 13,500 to then pull back to end of trend. This was yesterday, Monday's trade, and then Tuesday's trade, bang, we rocketed to the upside. And what we've come into is making a pullback to end of trend on the 40,500 tip bar chart. So we've broken into a downtrend, and we're about to have a cyclical cross here, and this thing is going to go pull back to end of trend to test that bottom. So pull back to end of trend signals rippling through these time frames, showing a left shoulder in this time frame, a head down here, bang bang, and then a right shoulder on the highest time frame, which will be pull back to end of trend when this goes off, kind of Wednesday's trade. So what was the signal here yesterday, or Monday into Tuesday? It was 13,500 tip bar chart, pull back to end of trend. We had a flush pattern. I mean, we didn't have an exhaustion pattern kind of down here, but the flush pattern was pretty extreme. It was almost like that was getting this move going, and that amount of volume was also kind of selling out here, kind of as a mirror image, if you like. And then we have bullish divergence patterns kind of come in, and then look at all of this activity midday towards the end of, you know, the latter part of yesterday, Monday, because this is Tuesday's trade, bang, all those blue professional bars picking up, pull back to end of trend, bullish divergence patterns, bang, well then we rocket to the upside. Now in the overnight session we kind of made new highs, and we tested down on this time frame. It was kind of Rambo patterns and amateur up bar stuff in the overnight session. We tested down, another little bullish divergence. Each of these, look at these, closer and closer and closer to the zero line, showing zero line is balanced. We had a bullish divergence, bang, then we break above resistance, bang, we're into an uptrend here. So that was it in terms of the bigger picture that said that, you know, Monday's activity into Tuesday's activity was kind of bottoming, and then we kind of rocketed to the upside. We still have a test to go though. So remember, on this 40,500 we've got to go pull back to end of trend to test back down somewhere into this zone, somewhere between, you know, kind of 90 and 60, something like that. We're going to test back in, put in pull back to end of trend here, because we've just, you know, rocketed a little bit too far too quickly at this point. Blue professional up bar, kind of taking some profits there. We're going to come back in and test those lows. So Now, I also say on the 40,500 tip bar chart is very similar to the 45-minute chart. And on the 45-minute chart, look what we're doing. We've broken into a downtrend here. We got exhaustion on the way down, bullish divergence comes in, stops this move, and then we're going back up, and we'll have a cyclical cross here, pull back to end of trend. So the 45-minute chart looking like that 40,500 tip bar chart, pull back to end of trend to just test into those lows, and then from there it'll be kind of good. I must admit, when you go, 45-minute, 135-minute to the daily chart, all the way up the time frames, we did come into this high here. We overshot in 135 and got caught by cyclical resistance on the daily chart up here at 2100. I was surprised how severe this move back down into these lows was. I thought a couple of days ago we'd have caught it, and a blue professional bar or something like that would kind of come in and catch it, but it didn't happen. The market just shows it's a little bit weak. If we got caught by a blue professional down bar, immediately rocketed up through the highs of that, and then gone through that resistance, that daily resistance there, into an uptrend on this daily chart, that would have shown the market was been really strong. But turns out we were kind of weaker than I thought. So we've been caught by cyclical support on 135-minute. Still got to make pullback to end of trend on the 45-minute, and that'll probably coincide with cyclical support coming on this daily chart here. So a little bit of weakness I'm expecting on Wednesday to test, and then after that we'll kind of take off to the upside again, I would have expected. The reason why we've kind of come bit down here, if we didn't get caught immediately up here, where's the next logical place for people to kind of step in? Well, we know all these blue professional bars at 2050 were coming in exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence. We know that area there is really significant. That's where the professionals held it last time. That's where we got the exhaustion pattern. So we've come back into that blue professional kind of zone there. It's held with yesterday's activity, and now we're kind of going to go and test it and then come back up into a proper uptrend from there. So Kevin, that was kind of the signal basically on the 13,500 tip bar chart, pull back to end of trend on Mondays, with all these blue professional bars at the lows, Monday's activity here, and then when we tested into this, that was kind of good to go after that, and we started breaking up into a proper uptrend here. And then on the higher time frames, that this zone was so important because we'd had all these blue professional bars hold it around 2050 kind of previously, that was an important area that we could see a bounce. And as soon as we started to see exhaustion patterns here, bullish divergence, blue professional bars coming at support here, bang, that's where we kind of took off to the upside. Day trading, how to play it. 1500 tip bar chart. This is the runaway kind of move. So after we kind of bottomed at the end of yesterday, the end of Monday, we were putting Rambo patterns in here. Rambo. So all the amateurs getting wrong-footed here, the professionals kind of getting set by the end of the day, and overnight we had this nice little kind of breakaway move to the upside. But the professionals thought, no, that's we need to get the full liquidity of the day. During the day session there's a lot more volume to be traded, so they're going to use that overnight activity and say, well, I'm not going to let this thing rip from the overnights. We're going to come back in and test, pick up some more volume here, and then kind of get going. So we had overnight session, finished off pullback to end of trend, and then during the day session after the open we put a nice pullback to end of trend. This was a Rambo pattern here, getting set too early, the amateurs getting wrong-footed. There's two Rambo patterns that are actually there. So the amateurs getting set too quickly, Brian, that breakout there. We came back and tested, and there was amateur down bars here, and I'm just going to show you on the 4,500 tip bar chart, that was a Rambo pattern kind of down there. So this activity coming into these lows was amateurs playing down here. So they're either getting shook out here, having gone long too early, or thinking, well, actually the move's going down and I ought to get short at that point, break into new lows. No, they get wrong-footed, pull back to end of trend goes off, bullish divergence, and then as soon as we've broken above this resistance line here, bang, we're into this super strong move to the upside, which has kind of played itself out a little bit with exhaustion buys, pull back to end of trend overnight here. And as I'm saying, I think we're going to have a test back down. Expect a little bit of continuation, after a really strong day like that. After you have strong days, the first 45 minutes, the amateurs are all jumping in. They're all kind of saying, oh, I missed the low, I should jump in and pick up positions in that first 30-45 minutes of trade after a really strong trending day. So expect a little bit of follow through, but after that I'd expect this thing to kind of test back in, because we've still got to do this. We've still got to go pull back, end of trend on the 45-minute chart, on the 40,500 tip bar chart, and so on. So there was a way to play this on the upside with this break, some nice moves into the down, and then kind of getting long after seeing these Rambo patterns kind of going the wrong way at those points. So there we go. I'm going to be looking at the charts kind of this evening, see if there's any kind of nice trades to be had. I hope your trading is going well.